All right, test. 1 2 1 2. Let me check our levels here. See how we're doing. Hope you guys are doing well. Test. That's good. A little bit of audio. There you go. All right. Chat test. Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to the weekly whale watch stream. This dude runner. Throwing down our weekly market analysis and stream that we do every Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Do it once a week. Wish I could do it more often, but we're down to a week. Got a lot of stuff going on with life, so do what we can. But we hang out here for about an hour, then we head over to the Discord and we hang out with the Rainbow Trends Discord for the rest of the night. So if you guys miss it or want to hang out with us later, we're going to be there later tonight. But anywho, per the usual, the stream is intended for educational purposes only. It's not intended to be used as financial advice. Even if you were to mistake it for financial advice, this is clearly an art show. But anyway, if you want to check us out, check out all the tools, all the write-ups, stuff like that. It's all on the website, rainbowtrends.com. But starting it out, I got a new toy this week. Not something I was expecting to get. Let me put it back. I've been wanting to get Starlink for the camping rig for a while. I've been doing a lot of off-road camping with the family and stuff, and occasionally we get to certain places that do not have internet or cell phone service. So wifey's been wanting me to get Starlink, so I've been waiting for this mini to come on sale, because the mini is like the coolest kit because it's got the router and stuff built into it, and you can run it off 12 volt. Well, the freaking standard kit came on sale for $175, and I could not resist. Typically, I've got extra room in the camper, so I was thinking this would be the one to go with, and I ended up picking one up, and it's freaking cool. But it is gigantic compared to the mini, and it has the power brick and the modem. But for $175, I just couldn't pass it up. And I normally can get really good internet on my phone and can do I can do hotspot off my phone 95% of the time, so I didn't want to spend the extra. These were $4.99 last weekend, but now they're $4.29. But anyway, excited. Might try to do stream on it one time, but we got both fiber running in this now. I think the delay might do it, but so far just BS setting it up. I was instantly getting like 30 megabytes a second, so it's pretty cool. What's up, Phil? What's up, Mim? You got it on your Sprinter van? Yeah. So the other thing I did learn, a lot of people can run this off the mini off USB-C because it runs on 12 volts. A little bit of an oversight on my end. The standard kit runs on 56 or 57 volts. I don't remember the exact voltage, so you have to step up DC if you don't want to run it on AC. So it's kind of a pain, but you live and learn. But for my purposes, I'm excited, and it's for $175, can't go wrong. And they have standby internet now for $5 a month for like 500 kilobytes, which sounds slow, but dude, for what I need, I'm not gonna be streaming Netflix on the beach, so it's all right. But anyway, per the usual, not big updates, but updates. I'm almost finished up writing up all the tutorials here. So if you go to the main website, you can click our tutorial page and it'll take you to our Wikipedia. I've got 2 more tool write-ups to do. And then I'm going to do some of the Rainbow Theory OGs here, so I'll write up some of their trade desk and let them do some stuff. But just let you know, this website, it's got way more stuff on it and more write-ups because people ask a lot of crazy questions. This is where all the information's at. Plus the videos are linked there too. So if you have any questions or need anything else you want added here, let me know. But start us off where we're at with Bitcoin. Let's go. I normally don't walk right into the Bitcoin chart, but that's why we're here. Wanted to change it up this week. So, man, it's been a week. This is all messed up. TradingView occasionally switches this where I see the logo and I see the change. My normal settings is just last price, change of percentage, and symbol. Keep it tiny. But anyway, this is not the right chart. Man, I had that set up earlier. Let me switch real quick. Thought I had the right one up. Yeah, here's the annotated one. Sorry, I was doing layouts because I was setting up the Mayor multiple to look at later because a lot of that I think is coming into play now. We were shooting for the 144. We didn't get there, sadly. What's up, Fletch? We had some pullbacks this week. We had some data come out. We had some market scares. The big thing this week, though, we'll cover it later, is the Mag 7 is severely bleeding. It's really messing with the market. And we also have Jackson Hole coming up. So you want the quick summary of the stream. We've got Kanye West rug pull coming up. We've got crypto analysis on the BTC and ETF flows for Ethereum. Ethereum was really gaining traction, and then we've had some pullbacks. Covering a lot of the other data as far as like the Mag 7s and the AI layoffs that kind of Meta has been doing off. And I say layoffs, it's really a hiring freeze, but we'll cover that later. But in general, though, people are freaking out over this. We're up 9,000%, and then the slightest pullback, like they act like this is the entire chart for the year. And yeah, it sinks. We kind of had a little slightly newer high here. It looked like we were buckling up to go hit the reversion bands, and we didn't. And that's fair. But we're pulling back. Like we have not lost any major support levels on just about any time frame above 1 hour. So pullbacks are healthy, right? Not really, but it sounds good. We just want everything to go up forever, right? It's not really in the cards, but it's something we kind of want. But we'll see if we get there. I think we're running out of time on some things, and that's going to be not a fun conversation, but it's a conversation we have to have, or we just admit that we're off the normal cycles. Reminder, we hit an all-time high prior to this cycle's happening, right? That's never happened until this cycle. So the truth is we're in never been done before territory, but a lot of stuff is still rhyme and sinking. Quick recap, if you want to look at our old crazy chart, this isn't your standard Wyckoff chart. This is Rainbow Theory chart pushed to the max, and this was a hell of a thing to trade. But 3-drive pattern here. That's a shout out to Szyn. He normally trades the hell out of those 3 drives, especially on the downward slopes. Kind of a channel walker here, albeit the Ethereum was the easier channel walk to catch, and then we've been up and out and proving new all-time highs. And what just really sucks is we blipped an all-time high here. People got super excited, and it's pulled back from 124 back to like 112, which feels like a lot. It does, but in reality, we're talking about 9% correction on a crypto asset. Or I say a crypto asset, the crypto asset for the most part. But I'm chill. It's this seasonality wise, you can go look at the seasonality charts. This is not the best time of the year to bet on just up only type of movement, but I'm gonna have no concerns while we're above this resistance order block, which we had this entire year. We set this order block up around December, and it's held. We're now almost into September 2025, 8-9 months later. We're above it. This was the hard part. We got above this damn thing, and it was awesome. Massive strength, massive ETF flows, healthy stuff, right? So where are we at? We're in Chop City. A lot of stuff is coming up this week. We're going to get into a little bit of it. Jackson Hole's got a lot of people questioning what's going to happen. I didn't set up slides for it because there wasn't any major updates this week. The major stuff happened last Friday, the day after our last stream, but Putin met with Trump in Alaska. So negotiation talks are in process, and I think a lot of the market is kind of on edge to see how that goes. It's kind of escalating this week because they're continuing to bomb stuff to hell, but I digress. The good thing is people are talking. People are totally bad-mouthing the situation, but as a friendly reminder, all wars end at a freaking table where people that get to make decisions get to write on paper and come to terms. So every war ends like that. It's been like that for hundreds of years. Eventually, you have to get Putin and them in a room with Zelensky and make a deal. And I think we're getting closer to that. I know the demands are crazy and no one's going to get what all they want, but people are going to concede some things and then go from there. So we'll see. Are you winning yet, son? No. No. And that's the sentiment too, LC from YouTube. Are we winning? Man, I feel bad because there's a lot of people that are just absolutely getting destroyed right now. Bitcoin's in like price discovery. The truth is like you should be doing pretty well right now. Not everything's going up. We aren't getting like crazy alt season, and that's all everybody wants to talk about is alts, but it's really switching to it. For a while now, it's just been Bitcoin. And now Ethereum's finally getting attention and getting flows. And that slowed down a little bit, but the truth is it's the easier trades are here. And I know it's not the funnest thing to try to look at $100,000 asset, but if you've been with this stream or you've been with us for a while, digress all my markups, or ignore the markups. We've been really, really hard on this when it broke at 25K. So we studied the living hell out of this bottom, and then we're lights out, balls to the wall running on Bitcoin, and it's been up since. So timing wise, what are we looking at? We're looking at a lot of stuff we've got to figure out. And like I said, going back to what I was saying is like we're kind of off the map. We're kind of off the charts potentially, right? Things have happened this cycle that have never happened before. We have a pro crypto president. We have a strategic BTC reserve that's not using cash to buy Bitcoin, which is fun. We've got major ETFs. We've got all this kind of stuff going, but we are off the maps in some senses. So before we move on, it's your time to click like, subscribe, all that type of stuff. We're almost to the 500 mark on our subscriber on our YouTube page. I'm very excited to hit that because then as soon as we hit 500, the goal is going to be 1,000, and it's going to take a while. But I wanted to show you guys this. This is kind of a chart that talks about what happens if we do kind of go off the map. What if the volatility is gone? And let me know what you guys think in the chat. But what if the volatility is gone? What if this stuff isn't there anymore? Right? What if we aren't having these giant swings every 4 years in the cycle, and maybe it's time we just start chopping, right? And just grinding. And maybe this is like, hey, we wanted retail in the market, and now retail's here. Maybe it just does this for eternity. Then it's real, like your diamond hand hodlers of old school crypto, their lives are a lot easier, but betting on a parabolic top to hit a pullback, maybe it's not there anymore, right? It's something we need to kind of look at. So, Phil on YouTube saying it hasn't been a bad cycle. 15.8, 16K to 124 has been fun. But pulling back, when in doubt, I always look at the Mayer multiple. And right now, the Mayer multiple, the 2.0 standard deviation we look at, it's at $201,000, and we are nowhere near it. We are kind of near it compared to where we were a while back, but we're talking about an 78% pull up from here to hit that, which is interesting to say the least, because frankly, if we're going off the 4-year cycle stuff, guys, we're running out of time. The peaks that we normally see Bitcoin shoot up and hit, the timings are gone. Like, not gone, but we're getting close, right? We're getting close timing wise based off the 4-year or off the 4-year halving cycle. It's tough to call, because not that Bitcoin can't do a 77% run in 2 months, but it's hard to let me know what you think. It's hard for me to envision 200K in October, and that's really what this is saying needs to happen. Our window really only goes out till, shout out Dime, because Dime has some timings here as well, but like, we're really looking to like October and November being kind of the end of this cycle. But if we're talking about Q4, we'll call it December. So that gives us like October to December to really get this rally going. And we're just not there. We're not printing the colors. We are not going parabolic. And frankly, it's not that It's not that it has to hit the 2.0 standard deviation on the Mayer multiple, but it has every single parabolic run or every single 4-year cycle run we've ever talked about in the history of Bitcoin. Every single one of these has hit it. And this is Bitcoin below 10 cents here. So, like, it's a thing, and we just haven't seen it. And this at this stage in the cycle, the Mayer multiple, go read it on the tutorial. I've got a really good write-up on it on the website. The 2.0 is kind of the minimum. Not to say we can't go higher. You could definitely do your 4.0s and stuff, but like realistically, we're talking about like you're not going to see 7-figure Bitcoin this year or next year. That's not going to be a thing per the Mayer multiple, but we'll see. What's up, RJ? Nexus? Thoughts on Chill House? I'm sorry, Chills on Thought House? What's up, dudes? You guys definitely need to go bug their brains in the Discord after this in about an hour. Those dudes are fun. But like I said, this is all the noise. This is what I'm waiting for. So this is the thing. Either the top has happened this cycle, the top is about to print, or there's never a top, right? But that's not really an option. So the reality is either the top is printing now or has printed, or we're going to shortly. It's one of the two. So we have to stay vigilant, needless to say, because I think you're getting into the levels timing-wise where you could argue 124 was the top. That was the Pico top C in 4 years. Maybe. I don't want to say that. I want to say 200K is what we're really looking for. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. We've never not touched the 2.0. So it's hard to say. And it's also hard to say Bitcoin's less volatile because these ETFs are turbo pumping volume into it, right? So, what's up, Sean? How are you? Yeah. Nexus is mad. Nexus is mad that I don't like his Chill House. So anyway, that's the Mayer multiple, and this is also another way to look at the... I keep talking about timings. All this stuff is based off 4 years. Go look up how Satoshi wrote the code. And this is an overlay of the 4-year cycles based off the days after the halving. So the bottom one here is 2024-2025, what we're doing now. And then these are the previous cycles. 2012 run was here. 2016's green. Blue is 2020. And now we're here, right? And you'll notice the volatility gets lower every year. And that's how Bitcoin was. Bitcoin was way crazier below $100, let alone 1,000, right? Now we're talking about 100K assets. So the volatility is definitely going to get lower. And right now, if you use like those projections, right, we're currently at $112,000. 2012 projection would be 2.4 million. Not hitting that. 2016 728. 2020 scale is 334. So likely our top is going to be below 334, right? Which aligns with like the Mayer stuff that we're looking at now. But the one thing is, look here. These are the days after halving on the y-axis. I say that as it's covered with labels. From the stream, how do I do this? Let me zoom out and zoom in. There we go. So you can see when I talk about we're running out of time, this is bear market over here, right? You can see 2012 run down, 2016 run down, 2020 down, right? A lot of these peaked here-ish to about here-ish, right? So, in reality, that's pretty much when we need to be wrapped up, which is 550 days from the halving, right? Which, right now, we're 487 days. So 550 minus 47. Mods do the chat. So 63 days from now. So we need to have this wrapped up by October 24th, right? Which it's everything we talked about previously. So it's what we're looking at. It's we're really looking at topping this thing out in the next 2 months. If the cycles matter, which I tend to believe they do. So, what's up, Matt? You guys are super chatty on YouTube. Keep it up. It blows up the stats. They promote it more on YouTube and put it in front of more people if you guys are chatty. Any type of interaction. So say hello. Say hi. Give me your thoughts on Chill House. Or on Shots on Thought House. I constantly send Nexus the dumbest Chill House memes ever. So shout out Nexus. But the point is, some very key things are going to happen in the next 2 months. And you guys need to be very, 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 very intuitive to it. Yeah. Pay attention to it. That's all I'm going to say. A lot of profit taking is probably going to happen in Q4 of this year. The type of profit taking we're talking about is moving into cash and not putting it back into the market. The last thing I want you guys to do is start chasing Chill House alts once Bitcoin's topped. Results may vary. But moving on. I'm still bullish. Now, how are we bearish? Oh my God. I see these alerts every single day. Just in ETFs, BlackRock sold this much, Fidelity sold this much, I hate this. Why do I hate this? It's sensationalization of the news to get you guys to click. The ETFs flow in, the ETFs flow out, and every single time there's a BlackRock ETF outflow, they say Larry Fink sold 800,000 Bitcoin today. And it's absolutely ridiculous. So, chill out with this stuff. This dude's even got a melting Bitcoin here. Actually want to see what Grok says here. Grok, why would they sell massively on the same day? ETF net outflows are calculated daily based on share. Yeah. Grok's based. So looking at the actual ETF flow data, we are having outflows. And when you see this stuff, like here's BlackRock, here's IBIT. IBIT sold $220 million worth of Bitcoin yesterday. Oh my God. This doesn't mean Larry Fink personally sold $220 million worth of Bitcoin and he's bearish. It's not what it means. It's just the actual flow. People buy and sell IBIT every day, and they have to true up the books eventually on Coinbase. So, moving on. So that's my bearish news. On a bullish news, check this out. Our guy Brian Armstrong did an interview with some alcohol, which is very interesting because he doesn't drink anymore, or as much, because he is drinking there. I guess a little bit. There's not much drink there, but
a bunch of other
it's interesting is he's saying $1 million per Bitcoin by 2030. What does that mean? Well, that means a big increase. I don't have mayor projections out that far. I could try to do it. I don't know if it would work that far out, 5 years. But I do want to point out he is talking about something kind of interesting here, and he's not necessarily pointing to it, but asked Grok here, what's in terms of trillions, what's 21 million Bitcoin times $1 million price target? It equals $21 trillion. But you want to spit your coffee out on the thing saying the CEO of the second, are they the second biggest? Is Coinbase the second biggest? Let me know. I think it is. I think Binance is still number one. But regardless, 21 trillion is like, holy crap, because I think Bitcoin is currently 2.2. So he's basically talking for like a 9x, 10x here of this to get to 21 trillion per Bitcoin. Now, what happens if the total market cap of Bitcoin hits 21 million? It basically flips gold. So he's calling for, in the next 5 years, I guess a little less than 5 years, our guy Brian Armstrong of Coinbase is saying he thinks Bitcoin is going to flip gold, or at least get to the number right up against it. I say number two. Saying number two doesn't mean much. Number two is only 4.3 million. That's nothing compared to 22 million, which is crazy. And the other thing you got to realize, the market cap of gold is like, this is like all the gold. This is the gold the pirates and stuff were fighting over hundreds of years ago. This is the gold the friggin' Aztec were mining like 1,000 years ago. Like, this is crazy. Not call it Aztec. We're not 1,000. Inca. Inca went further. So anyway, I digress, because this is an art channel. This is not a history channel. But it's interesting is goofy as Coinbase can be at sometimes, he's actually pointing to gold getting flipped, or at least getting tailed right by Bitcoin, which I'm fine with that. If you want to say Bitcoin's going to hit $1 million, I'm totally cool with that. So we'll see. Yeah, mods, please ban LC. Please ban LC. He's making inappropriate content. Now, how are we going to get to $21 million how are we going to get to a $21 trillion asset? We're going to get it with MicroStrategy doing buys. So I guess he has to post these, but this is Sailor, what is this? Is this a Bitcoin buy for ants? It's the normal text, it's the normal logos and all that, but look at the number he bought. He came in with $50 million and bought 400 Bitcoin, which that's great. Proud of you, bud. Got to catch them all, but this is embarrassing. Save your cash for a dip. This is nuts. He normally comes in heavy, so anyway. Moving on. Remember how we talked about, I think it was a week or two ago, China banned Bitcoin for like the 10th time, maybe 12th, I don't remember. China's now also looking at approving yuan-backed stablecoins later this month. Reuters reports. What's weird is too about this, the news from China, it's always like sources reported. It doesn't ever say who the hell it's actually linked to, which I'm assuming it's just CCP dropping this out. But shout out CCP. I hope you guys get the Bitcoin wants backed yuan going. That'll be great. Do the stable coins. Yep, crazy money. This is good for Ethereum. Thanks, Monet. But we'll see. He says it's good for Ethereum. Let's check the Ethereum chart. This is the chart that has had the most attention from your guy Runner for a very long time for very good reasons. I'm going to clean this chart up a little bit. I'm going to pull the RSI alerts off real quick. RSI tops and bottoms are a little noisy on this because we're blowing up that stuff. But shout out RunnerBot. We had a bottom here of 35.27 all the way to 46. Hell of a call. But this is the important one, and it's super messy. We kind of need to look at the higher time frames. Your boy here doesn't like real high time frames charting on colors, but is what it is. If you look at the daily, it's pretty clean until the Mally pivots come in. Sorry, Mally. You guys know my Ethereum. I've been posting Ethereum charts all damn year, getting like 2 likes. So shout out to the 3 guys who constantly like my Ethereum charts, because we called this, the Rainbow Theory dudes called this bottom 2AT. We didn't get call like 1400, but like we got real loud at 1600 when no one else did, and we were talking about Ethereum bottoms in April. Not too many people. I don't know if really anybody in April. I think the first ones I saw after that was like mid-May. But the point is credit where credit's due, because people accuse this crap of not working, and that was it working in action. But the point is, the biggest thing for me as a charting cow is this order block from like 39 to like 41. And it's held us since March of 2024. And we have had ridiculous round trips up to it multiple times. And by God, this time we finally got through the damn thing. But we almost got the all-time high. And you'll notice how far we have to go for the all-time high. Why? Because Ethereum was much stronger in 2021. And this is not inflation adjusted. Let's keep that in mind. But in 2021, Ethereum actually tagged 4851. So this manual line drawn across here is the 4851 level. So, or 4867, whatever it is. Pick your exchange. The all-time highs are going to fluctuate a little bit. So, anyway. Man, the concurrent viewers are screaming on YouTube. Shout out to you dudes. Glad you're here. Guys, this is a huge deal. Broke. and we almost got here, and people waited till we got to like almost the all-time high and then won that along it. Not a single person, like, except the shout out to the 3 guys who like my Ethereum tweets, but like no one gave a crap about Ethereum post here. Now they're interested, and now they're getting destroyed. And also they're doing this on like leverage. People are leverage longing these, and it's getting even some of the most seasoned people I know. And just a friendly reminder, the whole reason I started coding was to keep myself from FOMOing stuff, because I mentally couldn't handle it at first. We don't long resistance ranges. You don't. And we're hitting it over and over again. And people keep trying to long this, and which is fine. You can bet on a breakout, and definitely that's the breakout, right? Is 4100 was the breakout, but like, dude, you got to be super tuned in to be this high into a reversion band and wanting to leverage expose yourself there. That's rough. But regardless, all-time highs. I know this happened in 2021, but there will be a giant fight here. People will stack the living hell out of sells. People will stack shorts. People will stack longs. It will be a very, 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 very hard fight. And eventually they'll get through it. Fingers crossed that Ethereum breaks an all-time high this cycle. Fingers crossed, because God help us if Ethereum doesn't, because it basically means this 4-year cycle we're on Bitcoin is just going to be Sol and Hype are really the only things that ran, except meme coins for a little blip. But I'm still bullish on ETH. I still want ETH to go. The ETF flows on this are absolutely nuts. We need it, right? Where it goes from there, I really don't know. I think, honestly, you're going to have to just look at Bitcoin going and try to time it somewhere around there. You're not going to nail it, but the FBTC thing is another thing you can look at. I normally don't look at this, but you're going to have to probably take a look at this for all-time highs. 2021s, we're looking at 0.15, which I doubt we're going to get that high. But we can look at the other ones at 0.08 resistances and like 0.05. 0.05 would be great. So, calculator math. What's 200,000? Let's just call it here. 200,000 times 0.05. It's 10 grand. So maybe we get 200K BTC, 10 grand ETH, and then we can go get ourselves out of debt, buy some houses, do something. I don't know. Maybe houses aren't the thing to buy anymore because they're crazy expensive. But anyway, I digress. Let me know what you guys think. Honestly, you guys tell me. I feel comfortable telling like what's possible on BTC, but alts, I don't have a Mayer multiple for alts. That's not how it works. Well, this wasn't planned, but we can take a look at it. Give me a second. I'll throw it up. Stand by. Let me switch this up. But no, in the chat, let me know. What do you guys think? What ETH can do? I keep seeing. Well, frankly, I've seen some dudes pitching 100K targets on Ethereum, which I'm like, dude, I don't think that's possible, but I like the conversation, because if ETH hits $100,000, I'm a very, very profitable person at that point. And God knows what the staking would pay back. But let's take a look at it. What's up, Cybro? Can you guys see the stream? Nope. There we are. All right. So the Mayer multiple is strictly a Bitcoin tool. Albeit, I do have some Turkish degens who trade the hell out of this thing. But with actually TradeFi stocks, which is cool. So shout out to my Turks. Love my Turks. For oh man, what was his name? I forgot his name. We have there's a Turkish YouTuber who picked up rainbow trends a long time ago. And he did a video on us, and I don't know what he's saying, but he's a cool dude. And he's always, ever since then, I've had like a Turkish footprint. So like I have so out of all the countries that like have rainbow trends clients, I have an abnormally large Turkish group. And they actually use the Mayer multiple on their TradeFi, which is cool. Not something I ever thought of, but it's built on Bitcoin, but I guess the theory would work if you'd have to change your back testing data. So anyway, let's take a look at it though. This is Ethereum. We'll go to 2-day. This goes back to 2018. That's a 2.0 hit. That's the 2021 run. This is when it hit all-time highs. Man, it barely got into the 2.4. It barely hit the 2.4 standard deviation. So I guess Ethereum hitting 2.0 is really 2 to 2.4 seems to be really it. Let's take a look. Call it end of year, December, kind of a little projection here. It's like 6K to like 7K. It's not as high. But we'll see. I don't know. Just something to think about. Anyway, moving on. So this was an interesting thing. An OG whale wallet. Take it for what that means. But an OG whale wallet had 95 has, I'm sorry. They have deposited an OG whale wallet that hasn't moved, I think, since 7 years ago. Has deposited something like $200 million worth of Bitcoin. They've sold the Bitcoin position, and now they are longing and leverage long and also spot long Ethereum. So it's actually really interesting. Some dude with a absolute F ton of Bitcoin is turning his wallet into Ethereum, which is kind of crazy. We'll see. Is it Kobe? No idea. Probably not, but it's fun to speculate. Give me 1 second. I got to pull up the far side. TV stream. All right, so let's look at Ethereum real quick. Oh, it's actually positive today? That's kind of whack. Was not expecting that. But the thing is here is these flows here are way more flowy than Bitcoin, which is crazy. Ethereum is definitely a big number 2, but this is the fact that Ethereum can hit 1 billion in a day is crazy. Let alone BlackRock took in 640K. Mind you, that's IBIT. It's not the whole. It's not Fink himself, but keep it in mind. But anyway, as long as Tom Lee keeps hitting this thing up and preaching his music, man, let it go. But what's got the market worried? Jackson Hole, dudes. If you guys don't know, Jackson Hole, all the Fed bankers and crap like that, they show up, have a big conference, and they talk about forward projections of how they're going to come out with the market. Basically, does the is it the Badger? What's the thing if it sees its shadow 3 more months of winter or 2 more months of winter? I forgot. But essentially, they come out and they're gonna give a speech, and people are gonna see if he's bullish or bearish. Not a week ago, I think Polymarket was saying it was like a 99% chance of a Fed rate cut in September. Lo and behold, that's now 57%. So, I don't think the Fed's gonna cut. I think my personal take, guys. My personal take. Yeah, thank you, Phil. It is Groundhog. What's up, Keeg? The Fed is very, very skittish about moving too early. Obviously, it's like they're damn near looking backwards is how they look at data. But I think they were actually getting close. I know everyone says that all the time, and they say that for years, that they're getting close, we're getting close, we're getting close, and then nothing ever happens. I think they were actually getting close, and then the tariffs got dropped. And that's one thing Jerome has talked about. He's like, they don't feel confident that they know or fully understand what like tariffs are going to do to inflation. And he's actually right. Their data that they've been studying for months, because you got to remember, Jerome looks at the charts on like the monthly candle. He doesn't look at it on the hourly like we do, right? So he doesn't have data on tariffs. The United States has not gone through tariffs like this pretty much ever, especially these wild card tariffs where deals are getting made and then getting renegotiated and stuff like that. So people don't know what's going to happen. They're all speculatory. People on Twitter can't even agree or disagree if tariffs are bullish or bearish. So, I don't know. I mean, yesterday Sony announced that the price of the PS5 is going up. So, due to tariffs, we'll see. But the other thing to keep in mind here, just so you guys don't feel so confident that rate cuts are going to be bullish, the S&P 500 is printing all-time highs with high interest rates. It's not guaranteed that we cut interest rates and that puppy keeps trucking. So we'll see. We'll see. Stay on your toes. Now, in short, let's summarize all the speculation of Jackson Hole. Powell's going to come out either full surrender, neutral, hawkish, or hawkish mic drop. Full surrender, multiple cuts, dovish as fuck. Neutral, September cut still live, potentially. Hawkish, cuts are off the table. Hawkish mic drop, shocks market, dollar source. Maybe the dude shows up with a bow tie during his speech. We'll see. He's going to have his speech, and then we'll get some insight. But I'm telling you guys, this is where you're at. You invested in crypto, you invested in Bitcoin, so that you can wait on the Federal Reserve to tell us if they're bullish or bearish to see if you think your Bitcoin's going to go up, right? It's a sad chain of events. But our boy Altcoin Psycho made a good point here. Because many are over-indexing the importance of rate cuts while under-indexing the performance of the 10-year yield here. Low rates are great, but if inflation is hot, then cuts could send the 10-year higher. This would mark a cycle top, in my opinion. So he's actually saying if Jerome comes out, cuts too fast, yield goes nuts on inflation, market's off, Bob's your uncle, right? We're talking about rate cuts that happen in the next 6 months, guaranteed. Why do I say guaranteed? Jerome Powell's leaving office Q1 of next year. Someone will be going into the office that appointed by Trump, who's going to be primed to cut. Because I think Trump wants us at 1% interest rates. So we'll see. The world will explode, in summary, is what Nexus says. Like I said, if you guys can drop a comment in the chat, click like, comment, subscribe, and all that type of stuff. We're almost to 500 subscribers, which has been crazy. It's been trying really hard to do that. So anyway, Jackson Hole, there we go. Oh, the other thing, the timing. So this was actually a pretty cool chart that someone was showing of the different Jackson Holes that we had in the August. And what did the market S&P do after Jackson Hole? The past 3 cycles, it pulled back. So maybe we're going to pull back for a month, turbo send it, get our market tops. They're going to overcut, blow out inflation. Bob's your uncle. We're Bitcoin maxis on the Kraken exchange, right? How'd I know, Fletch? I'm psychic. Now, talking about pullbacks, our boy Kanye dropped a meme coin while we were sleeping. Just so you guys know, I have Kanye West muted on my Twitter, so I don't see a lot of his stuff. So I did not, and I'm not a guy who goes after on-chain contract address drops of meme coins, but check it out. This dropped, went up to $2 billion market cap, maybe $3 billion market cap, and then proceeded to pull back 90%. I think it's probably closer to 95% pullback. So let's check it out. Let's see what he thinks. Maybe Yeezy's about to drop some alpha on us.
The official Yeezy token just dropped.
Now, people are saying this video looks off. This video is AI. I swear Kanye is reading off a teleprompter to say a 2-second bit. Watch it again. It looks like a teleprompter to me.
The official Yeezy token just dropped.
So, God forbid that the hackers got us, right? And they launched an unofficial Yeezy token on the Yeezy Twitter, right? God forbid. Now, and people are up in arms at this and just going crazy. And I've got to tell you guys, I am not more bullish on a official Yeezy token versus a scam Yeezy token. They're both the same to me. I don't want anything to do with them. Sorry, not sorry. I would not bet the house that a Kanye endorsed project would be doing well. He's a bit of a wild card. So anyway, Yeezy token proceeded to pump up to $3, and I believe it's at like 80 something cents right now. Let me know in the chat what it currently is. I don't think it's on TradingView, but and people are just like, yo, it's controlled by insiders and da 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 da. I'm like, guys, it's a meme token that is maybe by Yeezy reading off a teleprompter. Like, we're not. This is Hawk Tua 2.0. Like, you guys got to chill. And then now people are doing on-chain analysis of all this junk. And breaking, we've found the identifier of the first buyer of Yeezy. It's the same trader who made $100 million on the Trump token. Expert sniper or insider thread. Now, I'm not going to go into this super crazy, but like, guys, you're playing with fire with this stuff. Just do not throw the wrench at that, right? All I'm saying. But if you're thinking this is a regulated, nice industry, let's check the audio. So I don't even know who these people are, but Soul Jakey calls Hayden Davis about the YZY Yeezy token, and Hayden Davis admits to rugging it and sending out an early contract address. Another one bites the dust. So this is what you're up against. Really credible people, right? So let me get the audio right, and we'll go. Here you go.
Yo.
Oh, brother, did you get in on that Ye coin I launched?
No. I mean, listen, dude, we've been together for a while. Trading.
I sent you the CA early.
Where?
Why didn't you get in? Bro.
I mean, dude, what are the odds that you get your 50 mil on lock today? And then the Yeezy coin drops? Can we get confirmation that you're...
Another one bites the dust, brother. What can I say?
That's cooked, bro.
These like hotcakes.
How come I got the insider on like Libra and all that, but I didn't get like actually? I mean, like I still cooked. Like I seen it like late, but
I thought I sent you it. Oh man. Well, listen, bro. I'm just about to hit the AP store, so well, I'll give you a ring a little later, and we can talk about this new launch coming up.
How many APs you got now?
Bro, I'm on my 6th one.
That's insane, bro. I mean, let me know if you're launching anything else. Like,
house is worth.
No way. You see the new Richard Mille that just hit the market?
Bro, picking it up for sure.
All right, bro. Well, like, try to give me like a bit of an earlier entry next time. I would have loved,
You know I got you. Don't bitch.
All right.
All right, later.
All right, peace.
That's my quant. So yeah, it just know you're up against shitheads that have the whole idea is to dump it on you. So word of the wise, if you didn't catch the Trump coin and you didn't catch the Melania coin and you didn't catch the Hawk Tua coin or you didn't catch the Yeezy coin, don't feel bad. People have asked me to launch a rainbow trend token, and I'm not doing that. Sorry. If I did, I would do it for the dumbest reasons. How about Zcash Cash? Anyway, yeah, Yeezy traders got wrecked. 56,000 wallets touched the token. 15,000 lost up to 500. 1,300 lost up to $1,000. 1,800 lost up to $5,000. 429 lost over 6 digits or 5 digits. 523 lost to 10 to 100K. 64K lost to 100K to 1 million, and 1% lost over $1 million. Someone threw over $1 million at the Yeezy token. Albeit that might have been Kanye, but regardless, only 5 wallets made 1 million plus. Total bloodbath. Why even waste your time looking at this? But someone did the due diligence, so shout out the Solana post. But yeah, if you're not an insider, chill out. So anyway, moving on. Another thing I wanted to point out here, we're talking about insider stuff. The SEC is currently investigating John Isaac, president of Trump's $1.5 billion World Liberty Vehicle, Alt 5 Sigma, for inflating earnings and selling shares into the pump and transaction involving Alt 5 Sigma. Source the information. Now, this was interesting to me because this is something that happened this year. The SEC has been, for years now, the SEC has been focusing, like, man, I swear it was earlier this year, they were talking about investigations from the 2017 run that they were still dealing with. It's actually interesting to see that this new SEC is actually pushing for stuff that's happening now. So, we'll see. That's kind of crazy to me, to be honest with you. So, moving on. Speaking of Zcash Cash, which would be the derivative of Zcash I would launch, Gainsey Stream is proud to announce the addition of a new sponsor. They got Zcash to sponsor the Gainsey Streams, and I could not be any happier. Our boy Gainsey got Zcash as a sponsor. His arc, this part of his, it is his arc, has been awesome, and I absolutely love it. The dude is speaking truths others would never say. So I'm just a huge Gainsey fan, and he happens to, for whatever reason, be involved in like every bit of armed conflict there is on this earth. I swear, wherever he travels, something pops off. But in honor of Gainsey, our high tea celebrity, let's take a look. Now, the Gainsey Stream appears to be initially bullish. This sponsorship, we're up from $35 up to $42. But in all seriousness, Zcash is Zcashing. When this thing hits reversion bands and it's in the proper pumping and dumping mood, man, you can get some flows on this thing where it just smoothly goes in and out the rainbows, and you get the yin-yang trade setups, and it prints really well. It's not something I've traded in a while, but it does print and it does happen. So let's take a look at it, because I've not seriously looked at this in a while. But man, I used to trade Zcash a lot, and the reason I like it, it's these. You push these candles into these bands, it bounces. Bang, bang. Bounce. Bounce. And if you're smart enough or dumb enough, however you want to put it, if you trust your bands on Zcash, you can do some real dumb stuff on spot that makes you look like a leverage trader. That's a scalp of 72% on spot, right? You can do, not that you're going to catch that, but to say, hey, I did a 50% Zcash trade in a day, it's possible. I've done it before. It's kind of crazy. I forgot which it was a Thanksgiving vacation. I forgot where we were, but I was literally just trading Zcash dumps on my phone, and I paid for the whole vacation out of pocket, like just charting on TradingView on my mobile app. But like I said, pay attention. This is back in 2023. This is the same stuff. These are capitulation wicks into the reversion bands, and they bounce hard. Normally, they'll hit the other side. If not, they'll at least mean revert back into the middle. But if you get the other side, dude, that's a hell of a trade. 58%. There's just some kind of a mid-range. That one's 15. Really went up to like 25. You can do a lot of damage. It doesn't happen a lot. Like, it's not something I would scalp on low time frames. But like, when this thing blips, it blips hard and it bounces hard every time. And it's been around forever. So like, Zcash wells buy the dips. They do. It's repeatable. So anyway, what's up, RJ? So shout out to House of Yogi, because he made a really good point. It's something I've been kind of preaching to you guys. First thing with what Runner's going to say. I only vouch for crypto exchanges that are in your country. So if you live in America and you're investing in something that has an LLC out of the Caribbean, FTX style type crap, you have no one to sue in your local jurisdiction to have anywhere to go, right? If you get hacked or you get robbed by them and stuff like that. A lot of shady stuff happens at overseas exchanges. The one exception to that I would personally vouch for is like Binance. But even then, Binance US kind of went under, right, and had some crazy shit go down. So typically, the only thing I really vouch for is North American exchanges, and lo and behold, that's where I'm from. And I really support Kraken. And I used to support Kraken just because I liked Jesse's vibes, but legit, I use their exchange more. All my automated trading is on Kraken nowadays. Their API is way better. But the big thing, he points out, I want to buy $20,000 on Ethereum. $20,000 of Ethereum to get on this. Kraken fees are $55. Coinbase fees are $205. The fees on Coinbase are ridiculous. if you're trying to scalp a few percentages, like will kill your trades. A lot of my bot trading for the algos that I have that do like really, really tight stuff, they don't work with those fee structures. So give Kraken a try and check us out. We have an affiliate link at Kraken. You can see it on our Discord or our tutorial page, and you can shoot me a screenshot of you guys signing up, and you can get 10% off your Rainbow Trend subscription for life. So shout out to them because I really dig their product, and I think they're the best exchange in North America. And I chose them to be an affiliate. They didn't choose me, so I actually had to argue with them to get that approved. But it's another story. So another thing, talking about S&P 5000, S&P 5000, S&P 500. Trump administration's obviously deporting a sizable amount of the population. The United States overall population, I believe, is going negative for the first time in God knows how many decades. And now they're going to be reviewing 55 million visas of the United States. Now, one thing you got to remember, the United States is, don't quote me on the numbers, but the United States is roughly 330-ish, 40-ish million people. So if there's 55 million visas that they potentially could be yanking off, it's a lot of people getting yanked out of the workforce, which hurts demand. We'll see what that does to inflation and stuff. But I think a big thing is if you yank out these millions and millions of people, I think the housing market is definitely going to be affected by that and something to keep a note of. Now, here's our killer S&P 500 chart. We did really, really good here. Got a lot of exposures here. Had more powder in case we did actually go into the end times of potential S&P like 4,000 levels, which we didn't get to. But now we're here, and now we're going into all-time highs, but we're going into Jackson Hole. We're getting some pullbacks. People are getting a little scared, right? But the truth is, we're seeing Palantir pull back. We're seeing NVIDIA pull back. We're seeing AMD pull back. We're seeing some Titans actually show some weakness. And it's kind of crazy. One of them in particular, which got news, is Meta is hitting pause on their AI hiring. If you guys don't remember, Meta started poaching AI, AI experts and coders and stuff from a bunch of other AI companies and started giving them like double the salary and just were bringing them on, mass onboarding them, right? And then they just paused everything, which is interesting. It's not a layoff, it's a pause. Some people were calling this a layoff. It's not a layoff, it's a pause, but it's kind of interesting, which then also makes you wonder, is a very, very successful AI business, does it ever get to a saturation point where it needs less humans because the AI is so damn good? Maybe that's a thing. I don't think that's what we're looking at here, but it's something to consider. Now, Meta has been a killer stock. Out of the Mag 7, this thing has done way better than a lot of the other Mag 7s. And it's pulling back. That news is not the best on the AI, but Zuckerberg is killing it. He continues to be the strongest nerd. So we'll see. We'll see. Now, with that saying, we're talking Mag 7. If we're talking Mag 7, we have to acknowledge the AMD trade that Manifesto did. So you talk about real traders, real results, trading rainbow theory. Our boy Mally ran up over 50% run on AMD. Hell of a trade. And what's really cool about this, Manifesto did this. He played channel walker to channel walker into reversion bands. He does it in his own way, right? But in reality, Mally got long down here and sold it at the freaking TP level, and he did it the day he offloaded and posted that like the day before this started pulling back and the Mag 7 started pulling back. So like Mally posted selling like here, and then the next day it literally dumped. And we're like, holy crap. That dude was a freaking surgeon. So shout out Mally. Crazy tool or crazy setup. Love our Mally. But anyway, also shoot Mally a message. Tell him you're angry at him because his schedule is not currently allowing a second Manifesto interview on the Rainbow Trend stream. Let him know you're angry with him. It helps us out. No, he's got kids like I do, and he's doing a bunch of band stuff. So shout out to the fam. Hope they're doing well. You got band competitions. Streaming and stuff comes later. But yeah, dude nailed it. But the point is here, I wanted to look at Mag 7. I don't always look at the Mag 7 charts, but you'll notice Microsoft is having a pullback. Nvidia, this doesn't look like a pullback. That's very rare to see Nvidia show any signs of weakness. And that's color rotations. We're not too bearish colors yet, but it's concerning. Amazon's doing all right. Apple's kind of going sideways, albeit I am impressed with their M4 chip. Shocker, right? Because I don't really like Apple, but I'm starting to like it a little bit better because it does so much better video editing than the Intel's current stuff or the AMD's current stuff. But anyway, I digress. Tesla going sideways. Frankly, until Elon quits gooning about these AI stuff, I'm very scared of this. There's a CEO who's spending every moment of his day talking about these AI video clips and the Annie dancing girl thing, and it's got a weird vibe that throws me off. AMD, crazy run up. It's probably going to pull back. These channel walkers, is the channel walker that was going up is currently being broken, and then Meta's looking like a support retest. So going to keep an eye on here because S&P 500's been printing all-time highs, and now all of a sudden the Mag 7s are starting to bleed. It's very concerning. So one thing to do, we talked about inflation earlier in regards to the tariffs, and the Walmart CEO, Doug McMillon, said our cost increase each week as we replenish inventory at post-tariff price levels. Expect tariff-related costs to increase into Q3 and Q4. So he's expecting to say, but like everything's going to cost more until the end of the year, and then hopefully the tariffs lock in and we don't have to deal with this anymore, right? That's kind of the goal. That's kind of the idea. But this is giving us a insight into their forward projections into Q4 of this year, and he's saying stuff's going to get more expensive and keep getting more expensive, which is going to be interesting because Trump pushed tariffs real hard, and it's to bring prices down and American manufacturing, all that stuff. It sounds great, right? But the one thing the Trump administration will do is they will listen to an angry republic and adjust and pivot as necessary. If everything keeps soaring in price and the cost of food and consumable, like, typical stuff, toilet paper, deodorant, stuff like that, toothpaste keeps going way up, people are going to start getting real pissed. And they're going to have to potentially pivot on the tariffs. So we shall see. This is good insight. This should be, pay attention to this one. Walmart's a big deal. Now watch Trump get pissed at this news headline and have the Walmart CEO come and talk to him next week, but we'll see. Earnings down 7%. Their stock, it kind of looks like the Meta's chart before Meta took off again, but we'll see. As always, it's in the middle. I don't want to mess with it, but you'll notice it was running and now it's going sideways. So moving on, back to shout out FTX. We haven't talked FTX in a while, and I hope you guys haven't forgotten them. Always stay vigilant. FTX added a mailing address to his X account. So if you have an old pitch deck and you're looking for some FTT funding, Sam has a P.O. box. Now it's monitored, so they're going to filter what you send them before they send it to him in jail, where P. Diddy's at. But where is P. Diddy out? I don't know. I know they were trying to get... Man, they went real quiet, real fast. I haven't seen anything about P. Diddy in a while. So, shout out Dime. That's kind of funny. I'm sure this is probably a really good time for Gainsey to go dunk on him and send him a letter. But let's take a look at the FTT token, see how it's doing. It's actually 90 cents. I forgot, what was the all-time high before Caroline killed it? Get them out of the way. $76. I forgot it went that high. If you guys don't remember, Caroline actually got like a hold of like over 50% of the supply of FTT, and they got stuck in a position and they couldn't get out of it. So we talk about hypothetically what's the most Ethereum Tom Lee can procure? Something less than the amount of FTT that Caroline procured. So we'll see. Don't trade this. This is a pile of shit. I just like looking at it. And the fact that Binance, I think Binance still keeps this running as a joke to rub it in their face. Because if you don't know, BNB is killing it. BNB is all-time high, and nobody's talking about it. And what's interesting is all the people that bug me about alt charts, especially like alts I've never heard about, my thoughts on Chill House, etc., which you'll never know. BNB is full-on sending. And all the alts that people want to talk about, nobody gives a crap about the BNB chart. And it's $848 per BNB right now. And trucking. Now, the other thing I want to kind of point out here, we don't often get to study Wyckoff charts too much. You know that we, at Rainbow Theory, look at a lot of Wyckoff aspects of whales with the tools and how we look at Rainbow Theory versus Wyckoff. It's kind of a hybrid quant thing. But regardless, the one thing I want to point out here, you're looking at a reaccumulation chart, whether you like it or not, and it's worth probably studying. So take a look at this. It's not perfect. If you're looking for the perfect Wyckoff chart, you're going to find like maybe one a year across the entire market, so have fun with that. But I definitely can kind of see a creek here now. Now, I didn't catch this. I can't really trade BNB on most North American exchanges, but it's interesting. It's kind of interesting. You can kind of see the support here. You can see the mountain here, then the creek. And now we're starting to get to the LPS and stuff like that. Now it's actually waking back up, and you're seeing volume start to show up. So maybe this goes into price discovery. Maybe this is what pulls Ethereum into an all-time high. I don't know. It's still like a top 5 crypto asset. People sleep on BNB. Like, they don't know. I personally don't like it because it moves inorganically to me. Because Binance, I think, is more in control of it than they'd like to admit. But the same thing happens to like XRP. XRP moves like it's in control by 1 mile. Now, the other thing, XRP, it's not all-time high, but it's damn near there. I think that is the all-time high, 3.6. The previous cycle in 2017 hit like 330, don't quote me. That was my last XRP sell. It was like $3.20 back, like way back in the day. But I don't touch this one either because I don't like playing with it because it's tied. I say it is tied. It was tied to so much of the court legal battles, which are now, I believe, completely over. I'm not a lawyer, but this one is about to potentially go into price discovery. Or it's a massive friggin' BART. Albeit it's pushing up and out, and if Ethereum goes, XRP is going to go too. So I'm not super bearish on this, albeit it's still a token I don't want to touch. Speaking of tokens I don't want to touch, let's look at Cardano, the old school token that everybody at work knew about but didn't know anything about Bitcoin back in the oil field. I still don't know how ADA got into the oil field nomenclature, but people were talking about this and wanted nothing to do with Bitcoin or Ethereum, and I was like, where did you hear about ADA? But I digress. It's call this a chart if you want. The one thing I will say is support is showing up at 51 cents, but I'm just not crazy about this. The easier chart for me, honestly, one of the easiest charts, still Sol. I know I sound like a broken record, but you're starting to see Zen wake up. Pay attention to that. But we are printing lower lows here. I think we're potentially going to get through. We'll see. Now, I'm betting on resistance not being resistance. Shocker, right? But we are working our way into it. We've wicked it twice. They're only going to hit this resistance order block for so many times before it goes. But if we're looking at BTC going into price discovery in the next 2 months, we're looking at Ethereum hitting an all-time high in the next 2 months, Sol needs to go. Sol needs to go and wake out and go. So, until then, though, buy low, sell high. This does not look like a lot of range, but this has been a very, very predictable range where it moves 68%. To get the views on TikTok, we'll call it 69. So anyway, that's the key lesson there, and that's like, if you guys don't think pivots work, that is like crazy. So, and there's your pivot there. Why whales respect it to a T, I'll never know, but it is repeatable. So we'll see. I honestly think this will go, but I think Solana is less built up, pent up energy than Ethereum. I think if Ethereum actually prints an all-time high for the first time since 2021, I think pump, let's go. Honestly, if maybe that's how we get to the all-time high on Bitcoin in 2 months is Ethereum just lets loose and we pump for 2 months and go straight up to like 9 or 10K and then we just blow off top everything. We'll see. But speaking of Linux, because we weren't, I saw this and I'm pretty sure we found one of Doppel's alt accounts. So he took an experiment with his Nokia N95 using Python. I set up a local Linux server acting as a proxy between my phone and a smart vacuum cleaner. I also used my phone's motion center to steer the vacuum cleaner like a handlebar. So check this out. This is beyond cool. And I wish I could code like this.
Can't beat me.
Cool. I intentionally can't show my daughter this because my Roomba will be dead if she sees this and tries to do this. Not that I have a Nokia N95 hanging around, but she is getting into breadboards, so electronic vacuum this. But yeah, super cool, and had to show you guys this because I got 2 Roomba clips this week for you. So I always joked with my wife that she's like, because our Roomba would get stuck and hide somewhere, we'd have to go find it. And I'd always make the joke that it actually made its way out of the house and is probably on the side of the highway right now on the feeder lane trying to hitchhike. And apparently someone's Roomba actually did leave the house and they filmed it up into its last seconds of its life before it was tragically ran over by an SUV. But this is that Roomba. It's so awesome. I would probably crash my truck if I saw a Roomba. There he goes. That was it. If I saw a Roomba driving down the side of the road, I would just be, I would not be able to breathe anymore. I would be laughing so hard. But with that being said, thank you guys for coming out. This was a fun stream. If you guys want to check us out or come hang out with us the rest of the night, we're going to be in the Discord. Up here at the top is the Discord link at rainbowtrends.com. As always, like, comment, subscribe. Helps us out in the algo. Drop something in the chat. Say hi. List your favorite color. It all helps out. Much love, and I will see you guys in the Discord in like 10 minutes. Talk to you guys later. Bye.
I can feel